My name is Ngor Mwalimu Ustaz, Secretary General of the Community Juba, and here I present to you the Awil North Community Statement on the presence of UNISFA in Awil North. The letter is here and it reads, Dear UNISFA Sector 1 Commander, with genuine regret, we the chiefs, the youth, women, elderly, and women groups put up this unique opportunity to register our bitter position with serious warning on the current existential boundaries incidents in Awil North. We, the Awil North communities, would like to inform the readers of this letter, international community, and UNISFA in particular, that there has not been claiming or disputed area in Kiradem, in Charanyuak, in Gangabar, in Kirpal, etc. These are predominantly owned by Dinga Malwal. For instance, you can take a leave from Comprehensive Peace Agreement and Addis Ababa Agreement, in which they have not been incorporated as disputed or claimed areas. So by the virtue of coexistence, Dinga Malwal without any claim, the land has been for Malwal Dinga. In the early 1968, during the Sudan general elections, Kiradem has been a constituency of Dinga Malwal, and it was represented at the time by the then Samuel Dengamu, then bring up to date by Honorable Gabriel Gurgut, Honorable Ngong Dengum, Honorable Mulwala Shed in the South Sudan National Parliament. Representing Kiradem currently, Kiradem has never been an area of located right. It is purely for Dinga Malwal without any claim. Therefore, since UNISFA wants to go by the predilection map created by those with no jurisdiction and obligations to produce the map which attempted to displace the communities, we request the UNISFA and other institutions that refer to our inhabited land as or disputed areas to refrain from such political opinions. The reason that brought us into misunderstanding that is likely to be subsequently followed by conflict is that UNISFA has embarked on issues that are not under its mandate or its jurisdiction. We know UNISFA is tasked with the responsibility of security and overseeing the security at the border. As the name suggests, we are the widest cattle keepers in Eastern Darfur. So they were permitted by Dinga Malwal to seasonally and yearly come to the south to feed their livestock, source word of the River King. But because of the potential dispute transpiring in the early 20th century between Dinga Malwal, pastoralists and Resigat, the British governor of the then Southern Darfur 1918, Mr. Patrick Munro, formulated the new grazing threshold for the Resigat, which was 40 miles southward of River Kil, for grazing only. Only the objections for Dinga Malwal developed in 1924, and as a result, accommodation was conceded between Munro and Whiteley, the then governor of Baral Ghazal, who formulated a zone of the Resigat grazing that inflated into mile 14, and grazing does not amount to geographical boundary or ownership rather. One is involvement in the border issues. Two, biasness in the patrolling, sexual exploitation, segregation, employment, and number 5, unilateral decision making without informing the host community, and lastly, and not being able to provide even corporate social responsibility to the host community, and that actually contravene the United Nations goal on responsibility, social responsibility, and actually it is against the human rights as provided in the Charter. So in the scheme to support our two people associated the action of the land annexation and grabbing of our land in disguise, we discovered that UNISFA and its violation of the human rights of the people, that UNISFA has a hand in, because it was threatened the existence of communities of that area. The community has to leave the UNISFA, the land, the territory that belongs to the people of Awil North, within 3 days only. And failure to do so, the community will have no option but to take up appropriate actions that are deemed necessary, such as causing such a thing that may cause dangerous actions, assets, compound, etc. Signed by Honorable Gabriel Ngangodok, Benatak Chairperson, signed by Simon Dudako, Koro Community Chairperson. These are the heads of them, the chairperson, and that's Deng Chan Val, Dr. We have a copy circulated to Office of the President, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Chief of General Staff, African Union, Intergovernmental Authority of Development, IGAD, and South Sudan National Legislative Assembly. Also Office of the Governor, Northern Barbados State Legislative Assembly, Ulnor County Commissioner, Division 3 Unyik Military Barracks, and all the organized forces plus the Inspector General of Police. Thank you so much. I will hand over the copy to Chairperson of Benatak Community. Hand over to you.
First of all, for accepting our call as a community, I will begin Republic of South Sudan, Northern Barghazal State, Awil County, Kokmashar headquarters, to UNISFA Chief of Mission. Subject: expulsion of UNISFA from our ancestral land. We are privileged to present our conflict and decision with strong feelings and emotions pertaining to the enragement brought by UNISFA. United Nations Interim Security Force for API is meant for the area of API only, and we wonder why the extension was made to our land of Awil County. We, people of Awil County, do not know disputes that instigated whoever made 14 miles in our great fatherlands. The so-called safe demilitarized borders route is not in line with borders agreement. There is no any agreement reached or made by community of Awil County with its neighbor, as it is said to be 14 miles. And that's why we allow our neighbor pastoralists to go beyond 14 miles south Kirade without any restriction. This does not need a third party. If we had such an agreement with them in the past, we would have not allowed them for this chance of grazing their cattle. We appeal to international community to look into this case with great attention. Mile 14 was not one of the protocol signed during CPA. UNISFA has infiltrated land of Awil County without knowledge of the government of South Sudan and UN, as well as the Awil community. The President of the Republic of South Sudan, Foreign Affairs of South Sudan, Chief of General Staff, SSPTF, African Union, IGAD, IGP South Sudan National Legislative Assembly, Governor of Northern Barghazal State, Awil, State Legislative Assembly, Commissioner of Awil County, UNISFA, Division 3 Commander, all the organized forces, Northern Barghazal State. Thank you so much. Setting SDBZ, which is not supposed to be under their mandate. 2. 14-mile agreement which brought UNISFA to our land did not involve community participation. 3. There is no constitutional right that allows UNISFA to stay. 4. UNISFA does not recognize community right of land ownership. 5. UNISFA is using telephone code number +249 in Gokmashar and Kirade site. 6. The patrolling of UNISFA is not inclusive and it is illegal. Eventually, the presence of UNISFA in Awil County, especially in Gokmashar and Kirade, is paining the whole population of the county. As a result, we have given UNISFA only 72 hours to leave our land unconditionally. MA of an agreement between the Republic of South Sudan and Sudan on border issues. It talks about local stakeholders' participation. But when 14-mile agreement was made as a rumor to this community, community participation was not put into consideration. UNISFA came and established its sector in Gokmashar and they subsequently created an another team site in Kiradeng, where they only patrol in one side, south of Kiradeng. This is something unacceptable. This, for instance, the code 2104 regarding UNISFA was not mainly for Awundawar County in northern Markazali State, but for Abia only, as it reads, United Nations Interim Security Force for Abia, UNISFA. However, Mile 14 is not a contested area at all. South of Adem has not been contentious. Hence, UNISFA must remove GPS coordinates that annex our land to Sudan before the day. Therefore, we, community of Awundawar County, do not want UNISFA to continue to stay in our land. As stipulated in the Constitution of South Sudan, the land belongs to community. Furthermore, some of the reasons that infuriate
as you have heard, I'm only the acting sector commander because the sector commander is back in his country in Ghana. So for now, I can assure you that I'll be forwarding this as soon as I leave here to my headquarters, because you know there's always protocol. And I'll also advise them of the urgency this matter needs. I understand you have sent similar petitions to them, and they are also working on them. My commander, my chief is in Juba right now. So I'll also make sure that he gets these petitions as soon as possible. And I'm hoping that UNISFA will give you a response as soon as possible. So if I get responses from UNISFA to pass forward, I'll let you know. But for now, let me forward this to my headquarters because they're responsible for all the operations in Bob and Again.